We're here back at the Fantasy Bar. 6 plays for you for the NBA on Friday night, including 5 plays, 7,500 or below on FanDuel, some cheap plays on DraftKings, some guys I think are in good bounce back spots, my favorite correlation, and of course, my favorite play of the night. Who is it? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy Six Pack. Good to be back in the Fantasy Bar talking NBA. Appreciate you guys for stopping by and checking out the video. Now, before we get into plays for Friday night, a couple things. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. That is the tip jar here in the Fantasy Bar. Also, head over to scoresandodds.com/beer. The link in the description of the video for all your sports betting needs, analytics, trends, the ability to compare odds across all the different sports books, and premium picks to make your life easy, including NFL picks from myself. Gave you the Colts last night. Go and check it out. Scoresandodds.com/beer. Lastly, make sure every Wednesday you're listening to the DFS OGs podcast, breaking down the entire NFL slate, and join our contest over at FanDuel.com/OG single entry tournament with season-long payouts. Go and check it out today. All right, let's talk NBA. Let's get into the plays here for Friday night. We're going to start at power forward center with BAMBA of the Magic. Now, I get it. BAMBA been a disaster here over the last couple games. I think this is a really good spot to go back to him tonight against the Spurs. People are going to look at those box scores. They're not going to want to pay these prices on BAMBA. But if we go back to Orlando's opening night game, had a solid game against the San Antonio team. In fact, touched almost every category on the stat sheet. 18, 4, 4, and 4 in that game. Almost 40 DraftKings points. So clearly a matchup he can thrive in. No Jakob Poeltl again here for the Spurs. And it's shown in the numbers as well. The Spurs have really struggled against bigs. In fact, power forwards, they've allowed the most fantasy points. Centers, middle of the pack in fantasy points allowed. Point is, I think BAMBA gets back on track here at very little ownership on this slate tonight against the San Antonio Spurs. All right, let's go to shooting guard / small forward. We'll stay in the mid-range with CARIS LEVERT of the Pacers. I love this spot for LEVERT. A lot of reasons why. We saw him come back from injury. We've seen the minutes start to trend up. Also, the shots starting to trend up here. And of course, to go along with that, the fantasy points have been going up each and every game here as well. These prices absolutely too low on a guy like CARIS LEVERT. In fact, this DraftKings price, the lowest we've gotten. He's only played 3 games, but the price somehow fell to $6,800 here. To me, this is an $8,000 player. So let's buy low here while we can on CARIS LEVERT. Portland been very vulnerable against this position. In fact, no team in the league has allowed more fantasy production to small forwards than the Portland Trailblazers. Take advantage of these prices. Take advantage of this matchup with CARIS LEVERT tonight against Portland. All right, let's continue with some value at power forward center. We're rolling Bobby Portis of Milwaukee. So the Bucks going to be shorthanded again. Looks like they're going to get Jrue Holiday back here tonight, but both Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez expected to miss tonight's game. That's good news here for Bobby Portis. Giannis can't do it all. Giannis continues to be an amazing play on the high end, but love Bobby Portis here. In fact, you run some of the numbers here without Middleton and Lopez on the floor. And again, you can do this in our Court IQ tool here in our RotoGrinders premium suite of tools. 33% usage rate for Bobby Portis with those two off the floor, averaging over 1.1 fantasy points per minute. Now, limited sample with the season just getting underway, but we know the upside Bobby Portis has, and it doesn't take a ton of minutes for this guy to get there, although I do think he'll play solid minutes in the mid-20s here. New York, generally a good defense. Last season, one of the best defenses in the league. We just have not seen that same level of defense here this season. In fact, bottom half of the league when we're looking at fantasy points allowed to power forwards and centers. So Portis in a good spot, cheap. The injuries certainly helped him out. I think he has a very productive night tonight against the New York Knicks. All right, let's stay at power forward center. Going to spend up a little bit here with Jarrett Allen of Cleveland. So injuries the story here once again. No Kevin Love, no Lauri Markkanen. Isaac Okoro also out for Cleveland. So running out a little bit of a skeleton crew. And again, when you run these numbers with these guys off the floor, you see a nice usage bump here for Jarrett Allen. In fact, almost 6% with those 3 not playing. And we saw the results the other game. We didn't have these 3 guys on the floor. What did Jarrett Allen do? He went nuts. In fact, that's back-to-back games now with 55 or more DraftKings points. If we get that at 6,600, if we even come close to that, we are in contention to win some GPPs tonight. I think Allen stays hot. I think he needs to stay a staple of your lineups and will certainly be a big part of my Friday night builds. All right, value back to the point guard position with Davion Mitchell of the Kings. Now, big fan of this kid, and the minutes have been solid here. I know it's a crowded backcourt there with some of the studs they have on that team, but 26 or more minutes now in 4 straight games, and we're seeing the production really start to rise. I think what's fueling that, we're seeing him be a lot more aggressive on the offensive end, taking more shots. In fact, 27 shot attempts just over the last 2 games alone, was single digits a lot of games before that. So starting to get more comfortable, starting to get more aggressive, starting to look like the guy that we saw at Baylor. And this matchup is exactly the kind of game Davion Mitchell can thrive in. We know he loves to get up and down the floor, great in transition. Both of these teams, top 5 in the NBA in pace. So this game's going to be up and down, back and forth. I think it plays very well to Davion Mitchell, playing well right now. Prices are too cheap here. Take advantage in this matchup with the Charlotte Hornets. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. But before we do that, we want to continue our Beast of the Night contest. Very easy to play, free to play. All you got to do is get in the comment section right below the video and guess fantasy points on FanDuel for my favorite play of the night. The closest guess is going to win themselves a free week of RotoGrinders Premium, a chance to check out Court IQ, Lineup HQ, all the other premium tools and information we have here at RotoGrinders, absolutely free. So without further ado, let's take a look. My favorite play for Friday night in the NBA. You know him as the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. I really like that Sacramento-Charlotte game. Let's go on the other side with a little correlation, and we'll stay at point guard with LaMelo Ball of the Hornets, tonight's Beast of the Night. So LaMelo Ball looks like he's going to be back in that lineup listed as probable, so ignore that questionable tag. Looks like he is good to go here tonight, and I love this spot for him. We know the upside is there. Every single time he takes the floor, this guy has triple-double upside. In fact, he's given us 50 or more DraftKings points in multiple games already early on here in the season. Now, a matchup here with the Kings, we mentioned the pace and up and down game. I think that plays very well into what LaMelo Ball does well as well. The Kings, 6th most fantasy points allowed to this position. So I don't see a whole ton of defense played in this game. Love stacking this game. Love the correlation between the point guards here. De'Aaron Fox, another fantastic play tonight. But LaMelo Ball in this matchup with Sacramento, easily my favorite play of the night and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that wraps up for Friday night in the Fantasy Bar, talking some NBA. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget fantasy points for LaMelo Ball on FanDuel for your shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. And also, don't forget to go check out scoresandodds.com/beer, link in the description of the video. And join the DFS OGs over on FanDuel, playing some fantasy football this week. Single entry, $7 buy-in. You'll find all the information at FanDuel.com/OG. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Best of luck here tonight in the NBA. Best of luck this weekend in the NFL. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist.